That was a loud sound effect. That's gonna be a funny highlight. I think it's like being blind man playing PoE. Well, I guess, you know, I am kind of a blind man playing PoE, huh? it's just pick up loot by the sound effect. Ooh, I heard a tink over here. Yeah. Walk over there. Oh, where is it? Let's get started. What's up, everyone? Snoo here. And we got another 100 maps farming session. Doing something a little different today. And we're moving up to the big leagues, you could say. Doing some more challenging content. Today we're going to be slamming 8 additional modifiers on rare monsters. Target farm Scarabs. But still doing a little bit of cluster farming too. This is a kind of a quirky hybrid farm. It's very similar to the Pantheon or Divinity Scarab mirrored rares strat with Nemesis and rolling antagonist mods on the map. But doing my own little twist and flavor. I'd rather put the Scarabs in for Delirium because I feel like, well, I'll explain it as we go. It's kind of an interesting idea, and it performs pretty well. I've already done a little bit of testing on this, but we're going to do 100 maps in proper fashion, and we'll see what becomes of it. You can go through the timestamps down below. There will be a link to the uncut version, at least the first Twitch VOD section, as this will be done in probably 2 days. But yeah, we just had a bunch of cluster farming, and obviously that negatively impacted the cluster market as predicted. But I've been selling a lot of them. The small cluster 3 passive reservation cluster is the one that really went down quite a bit, all the way down to a little over a divine a piece. Still, the 12 passive shield cluster holding quite strong at 3 divines. Still been selling a few of those today. And also 12 passive axe and sword cluster has gone up as a consequence as well. So the market seems to be still in very high demand for those. But a lot of other clusters have gone down. Overall, the cluster market is tamed down a bit, but I still have faith that it's going to be good. I'm very much looking forward to the results of this farm to see kind of how much I'm getting in Scarabs versus clusters. But for sure, more of the investment has gone into Scarabs, especially you're going to see when we check out the idols. This will be the first farm. This is the third 100 maps farming session I've done for the event, but this is the first one where I'm actually using some truly expensive idols. And it's not going to be so easily replicable. So let's take a look at start. We will take a look at the target. All right, so the target, kind of already talked about it. It is Scarabs and clusters. And I'm also doing some magic finding. I crafted a new ring, got a little bit of rarity. And also got a rarity suffix. I think I have 92% rarity on gear. And since we're putting 8 additional modifiers on rares, they're going to draw some uniques. And I'm doing beyond delirium and stuff. So we're getting a lot of uniques. I've already farmed, I got a couple of tier 0s, I guess, in the last 20 maps that I did. So that kind of made my eyes perk up a little bit. Wasn't really target farming uniques, but I just knew that we'd be getting a ton dropping. And we'll be doing on Sanctuary maps, so we'll be getting Devouring Fragments as well. The occasional Divine, not doing any Wisp stuff. I messed around with Wisp stuff, but I will run the Wildwood when it exists, and we'll see how the build can handle it, I guess. So yeah, not so much in terms of Searing Exarch currency. I'm still going to run a Searing Exarch influence. Don't really care about the loot from that. It's kind of nice though, because with Searing Exarch side, you get a lot of the Quant altars paired with a duplication of something else, in which case sometimes it will be Scarabs. And we get Scarab dupe altar. That's a pretty big deal on this farm. Bismuth ore is also a really big deal for those of you who know about how that impacts Scarab drops. It's important to remind you that Scarab drops are not impacted by player quantity or rarity through like glittering Scarab or whatever. It is strictly from the monster side, so increasing the number of modifiers in the monster is the most or the best way to do that. Also, Delirium has a pretty solid impact, and that might be something that many of you aren't aware of. The delirium or deliriousness and the depth and heaviness of the delirium, like 100% versus 20%, does have a pretty sizable impact on the amount of Scarabs that drop. Next up, we'll talk about the Atlas, which there's nothing to look at as usual. There's nothing here because we're doing tier 17s, and we're going to be looking at idols in just a second, but we got Scarabs to glance at. Now, these Scarabs should look pretty familiar. Last time I ran this, I ran a Mania and then Quadruple Paranoia, I believe. But this time, since we're prioritizing modifiers on rare monsters, Nemesis Scarab is actually truly valuable to this farm. Now, the reason I'm not doing the whole Pantheon touched thing, okay, so like most people run this strat will run like double Scarab of Divinity to get 2 additional Pantheon touched monsters and pair that with Scarab of Adversaries. Adversaries being more impactful, I would say. I honestly think the Scarab of Divinity is kind of a meme because it really only kind of doubles or maybe triples the amount of loot that individual particular monster drops. But Adversaries really does add like quite a few monsters and high quality monsters because they are native to the map. And if you guys recall, either this league or last league, there was a pretty significant change in loot. Respawned or league mechanic spawned monsters really don't drop much raw loot, including Scarabs. But native monsters on the map that load in with the map when the map is created, they're the premium ones. They drop a lot of loot. And so they're the ones that are kind of the focus here. Now, I decided not to run those because as interesting as they are, they're really not that impactful to the map. When you have a map with what you're going to see here, 200% increased effective explicit modifiers, and you have the Antagonist mod, which is this right here, that number goes way above 100%. And the result is 50 to maybe 100 rare monsters spawn in a map naturally. So if you're going to add a total of 8 rare monsters through the Adversary Scarab, it's a bit diluted by the automatic sheer number of rare monsters. I really don't think it's that big of an impact. And that is kind of what poised me to go ahead and do a hybridized version of the strat, where we go ahead and use the Scarabs in order to maintain cluster farming, 3 of them anyway, paranoia. And we get a lot more impact from there. You see, most strategies get a lot of impact from their Scarabs. But rare modifier, like raw loot, Wisp, or, well, not Wisp, actually, Wisp Scarab. I did try Wisp Scarab, but they don't really synergize with Scarab farming. But the Adversary Scarab, not that impactful, and most strats really do rely on the Scarab to do something pretty impactful. And in this case, only one of them is doing that. The Nemesis Scarab does have a major impact on this farm. You might not be aware, Delirium Scarab of Mania will impact this farm too. Because Delirium in area increases 50% faster with distance from the mirror, increases the depth and the rate at which the deliriousness goes deeper. Now, you could, in most situations, just run Delirium Orbs, but they're already starting to get a little bit expensive, and this is kind of a nice way to make the map really easy at the very beginning, but it gets progressively harder. But if you stack this up, and there's even modifiers on idols that do this, I have one of those as well, you get up to 100% deliriousness pretty quickly. I'd say at least halfway through the map. And that changed a bit. The formula on this changed. The upside of it didn't change, but the downside got easier. So unique monsters and rare monsters aren't nearly as crazy and tanky as they used to be with Delirium. Magic and normal monsters are still quite annoying to kill. But hey, you know, we got a really hard boss at the end that's unique. And we got a bunch of really, really hard rare monsters. So that's a really positive impact for here. And yeah, I think it's the way the game is leaning. If you're doing a strat that focuses heavily on rares and or uniques, high deliriousness is probably a pretty good idea if they're spawning naturally in the map. And one last reminder, Delirium doesn't... The upside of Delirium, which is sort of a baked-in additional quant rarity multiplier, only applies to monsters that spawn natively in the map, which are already the monsters that are much more premium than any other. So you're kind of double dipping on the premiumness of those monsters. So while I am running, you know, Beyond, those monsters are rarely ever going to drop any Scarabs. And I'm going to be running some Breaches. Those monsters are rarely ever drop Scarabs. But you're going to see that the rares that spawn naturally in the map are going to drop a ton of Scarabs. And it's in part because of their status as a native monster, as well as, you know, the effectiveness of Delirium on them, I believe. All rare monsters will have 8 modifiers, though, including this. The reason they'll have 8 modifiers is because we'll have some idols that will take this number from 2 all the way to 6, plus 2, which from the Nemesis Scarab will be 8. And every single map has at least one Scarab roll. However, none of these maps have 100% more Scarabs or more, because what I did is when I hit those, you see all these right here? These are very valuable maps. These will all sell, these would all sell for at least, I had a couple of maps, virtually all these would sell for at least 4 divines. Now, eventually I'll run these, probably with rolling boxes strat, and we'll have to count them as worth 4 divines when the time comes. But what I was able to do is roll maps like this and then I saved those back and thought of them in terms of just like profit, or, you know, to compensate for the expense of how many chaos orbs, because, you know, it honestly takes like 100 to 200 chaos orbs to hit on average one map. But it gets offset greatly by not running the most premium maps, which would get me a ton of currency for this. But honestly, those maps are so good. The strat is unworthy of maps that good. You need to do a strat that's just purely scarab farming, and preferably one that's like really hits scarab farming really hard, like rolling boxes, most notably, or maybe the Pantheon Touch version of the strat. Idols. All right, we'll take a look at idols here. Now, I mentioned in the start of this video, the idols, I really like the fact that I was able to come out with a couple strategies that were, honestly, given the circumstances of how the whole event's shaping out, quite replicable. Like, they only required you to have 2, not even all that expensive modifiers slammed in. Now, I'm going to be putting 2 very expensive modifiers together, and even a single attempt at this is roughly 5 to 10 divines to slam these, and, you know, it only has like a 1 in 5 chance of working, so like just a conquer idol with these 2 prefixes here is worth over 20 divines. And you'll notice that I've got 4 of them. One of them have scarab found in your maps are more likely to be less common varieties. That cranked up the value of it quite a bit as well. But these modifiers are extremely important to hit the breakpoint of 200% increase effective explicit modifiers. In total, with 12s off of the 3x1s plus these prefixes here, grant hits literally the breakpoint 200%, which takes the number of rares modifiers from 5 to 6, and that's honestly a pretty big deal in the map, but not absolutely mandatory, of course. Now, I happen to have delirium encounters, delirium encounters. Your maps have a % chance to generate 3 additional reward types. They're on all 4 of these. It was actually pretty easy to do because I recombinated all these together, and that was considered a dead mod in the marketplace. And this is kind of one of the distinct advantages to thinking outside the box a little and hybridizing a farm in a way that nobody else is doing, because the market doesn't recognize this modifier to be valuable whatsoever for these stats. So what I did is I just searched for idols that had 5% increased effective explicit modifiers in your maps for 5% map quality, plus the delirium mod, as well as maps or idols with 3% increased effective explicit modifiers per maps on your map per explicit modifier, and the delirium modifier. And so the delirium modifier was essentially guaranteed to spawn on there, and it was really just a matter of whether I was able to combine the prefixes. So I essentially paid almost nothing extra for that mod. I got it for free. So these are now 3 modded idols, and they get a little bit of extra value than that because I'm farming clusters pretty seriously with delirium. But I will say, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that amazing. I mean, there's a reason why this mod is still considered kind of a dead mod. It's not going to have a huge impact on there. It's really all about those 2 prefixes. Yeah. And there are some other cool things you can do with suffixes, but I didn't really mess with that. Let's move over to the 3x1 idols. We have 12% increased effective explicit mods with rare monsters in your map. Have a percentage chance to drop scarabs per monster modifier affecting them. These are mandatory mods. The scarab mod is 100% mandatory mod, and it really should be very high because that's going to be like 400%, or actually no, 450% increased chance for. Well, no, actually it's going to be like rare monsters are going to have a guaranteed plus 8 mods, so a lot of them will have like 12 mods. So it's closer to like 600% increased scarab drops per rare monster, and that's one big reason why so many scarabs are going to drop. That's per idol, okay? So it's actually something like 2,400% increased scarab drops, which makes any other source of % increased scarab drops totally moot. No reason to go for that. But yeah, 2,400%-ish increased chance for scarabs to drop on a rare monster. It's going to be dropping a lot of scarabs, particularly the native monsters. 12% increased effective explicit mods is also going to increase pack size, quantity, and most notably the number of rare modifiers. So if you combine all of these idols together, 200% increased effect of explicit modifiers, which makes these maps freakishly hard in some cases. So I had to have kind of a tight regex on there. That will be linked in the description below, the regex I used for this strat. Also have a few small idols here. I like the idea of getting % more monster packs for difficulty in rewarding monsters. and delirium progress, and I needed to slam beyond on here somewhere. So you have room on the Keurig map device to select either beyond or delirium mirror here, and I happen to be able to naturally spawn both of them. This was by design because not a very useful mod or considered very valuable. So I'm getting delirium to spawn naturally from these two idols, and then beyond is from this one and these two here. And then another idol here has what I mentioned earlier, faster with distance from the mirror. So now my map has 100%, delirium in my maps increases 100% faster with distance from the mirror. It's going to make the delirium faster, so it's not mandatory, but just kind of a useful mod. And I got a couple of unique ones with Wrath of the Cosmos, and Unending Nightmare is going to be mandatory for this. And that hopefully explains pretty well to you what's going on with the idols. Very expensive idols. I recombinated all of these together. I bought, you know, halfway decent ones pre-recombinate. I probably spent about half as much as it costs to buy them outright, if you even can buy them outright. Somewhere in the 200 to 300 divine range for the total value of these idols, I would guess, at the top end. And yeah, again, I probably spent about half of that, 100 to 150 divines that I personally spent. Actually, maybe a little bit more than that, honestly. All right, before we start, yeah, here's the regex that I used. Target farm, or targeting the scarab role, any scarab role with the Nemesis, or rather Antagonist mod. That's what this is. And then a few of these that are just nobody wants to run. They're really bad, like Mark for Death and no damage for 3 seconds out of 10, that sort of thing. Avoid elemental ailments is also listed on there in the case of my build. Okay, so the investment is not this number here. You just combine these here on the map side, plus scarabs, plus currency. But that's not the whole story. The total investment was about 106.3 divines, and I have a good justification for that. Roughly 80 chaos per map in terms of rolling, but the truth is I actually bought over half of the maps for a divine each. So the sanctuary map is about half a divine, and it's being undervalued here because everything in the app gets undervalued. All the scarabs when we get to the end will be undervalued. I'm not going to mess with that. So it's going to be a pretty conservative estimate on the amount of currency made in the end. But yeah, it kind of starts off undervalued and then finishes out way undervalued. That's going to be it for explaining the strat. We are going to get started. And for the first map, I like to set my maps up in a way so that I can kind of track with special things I have to do, like reflect, or in the case of block. These monsters are going to have a 100% chance to block attacks when they start off with a 50% chance roll, so I have to answer that somehow. Even this sword mastery is not going to be good enough. I'm going to have to lose some clear to get it so the monsters literally can't block attacks. Take a look at the stats here. Okay, I kind of already went over the idols, but in case you want to just kind of look at it one last time, there it is. Expecting to get 8 rewards and a pretty long line of rewards in the end. I'm going to choose Breach on here. Breach helps me hit the 8th reward mark, but Domination is pretty good because, again, it's going to help spawn native monsters on the map, or maybe Ritual. But yeah, I'm going to do it this way. And I've already explained everything, so here we go. I will track gold as well, so starting with 0. Double Devouring Fragment on the second boss. Well, also, it's a really good idea to tailor any given strat. I mean, is probably one of the best tips I could possibly give somebody who's like, you know, trying to get endgame, trying to figure out how to become more efficient. Try your best to tailor a strategy around you only needing 1 full inventory worth of space. Now, it didn't used to be that way because we had other strats, crazy strats like Nemesis 3 and Triple Beyond and all this stuff. Just made it kind of impossible. Like, if you did that, you would just lose money in the map. So you kind of needed like 4 portals to take all the loot out. That's not the case anymore. You can definitely make tons of currency by just by doing a strat and then even like leaving a bunch of currency in the map still. Effectively. I mean, I'm not like, I'm looting maybe 15% of all scarabs that fall on the ground. I'm looting. There's so many there still left in the map. I won't even see them. More clusters. Big ol' clusters. Another 12 passive shield. Oh my god. I'm actually like out of my mind lucky on clusters right now. I found like 8 of these things already. Don't tell me that. What? Another one? I'm straight up unconscious on cluster. These are still worth 3 divines each. Right now. Oh my god, dude. What? Clusters. It's all about the cluster farm. I might actually be making more money with clusters than scarabs. What? That won't last. There's no way that'll last. Surely I don't die to this one mob. Nice no blue juice map here. 3 raw divine. Where are these divine drops coming from? What? Dude. This would be good drops on a 10k Wildwood Juice map. 4 divines? On a nothing map with yellow and purple? There's no reason. I don't even think they're from rare mobs. Which might make some sense. Oh, glittering scarab, nice. Hey, that's what I'm actually targeting. Oh snap! 5% effective explicit, 5% and 3 max res on sulfite. Part of me wants to do, oh shit! Oh my god! I read it. I saw the 9% chance to be openable again, but I didn't read the blight part at first. I thought I hit that. Got you baited. You baited. Scarab market is dead. Really? Dead, huh? So I'm not making any currency, is that? I suppose the cluster market's dead too. Damn. Just duped a dead scarab. Go. Yeah. I see a lot of this kind of attitude, this league, with the crazy topsy-turviness of like everything's value, all the value and stuff. Oh man, I could have got 8 rewards and I'm not going to. Wait, maybe I can. Oh my god! Quickly, 8 rewards! Oh my god, I am a god. Give me that cluster. Go! It's drop the cluster too. No, it's minions. It's the weak one, and I'm gonna die again. I actually kind of wanted my character to die there, ceremonially. Nah, that cluster is kind of dead. I mean, it's okay. It's still worth like 60 C or something. Gotta be one up here. Shit! I'm not actually gonna remove my headhunter buffs. The yellow. The yellow. Oh shit. Oh shit. And a refill as his portal breaks. No! Oh my god, I would have got so much more yellow and blue. It's probably blue to the left. I still get a ton though, because we got some pack size. I can't even read it. Dangerous maps though. This is gonna be a really tough map. Well, that's alright. Oh my god, dude. It's like I didn't even do that well on the wildwood, but look how much these... Yo, wildwood fishing is gonna be crazy with this. I'm gonna have to do some magic influence pack size stuff. You know what, honestly, I'm not relying on evasion and armor very much, so we're just gonna do it. I think more action speed will be better. That's effing juicer, dude. That's just some good colors. Yeah, it's lagging. Oh. What is it? Vine orb? It's a beyond mob from hell here. Seems I can do enough damage though. Alright, I gotta try. I got one really good attempt at killing the boss. Get in there. Oh my god. Nope. Come over here. Back! Oh, temporal bubble. Oh fuck, I have no. Wow. That was kind of extreme. Okay. So sure about that. So close. Here, if nothing else. Bro, how do I not have it yet? There it is. And a 2-div cluster. Ah! Worth it. Not the ultimatum. Keep getting scarab dupes. Like at the very end of the map. $2120 Herald of Agony. I mean, that should be worth a little bit. Yeah. Like over 3 divines. Yeah, dude. That's a second crazy high gem I've gotten. Look at this. I also got 2120 Flicker Strike, which is also worth like 3 div. What the fuck? These are from Delirium rewards. It's like, you know, people may just completely discount that. You span across crazy amount of Delirium rewards, some of those things really do drop some valuable stuff. And that cluster I got earlier was a 12 passive shield. What do you know? You would think just people who just rush the boss would do it, make currency that way. Ah! Dang. I missed the Mage Blood coin flip, dude. Yeah. I almost didn't scroll over that because I thought I already did. Just sitting there by itself in the middle of nowhere. Second catalyzing Scarab. What the heck? And another axe passive? Yeah, we just got a headhunter. Actually. Look at this loot, man. The boss room, dude, like since coming out of that boss room, I made a little bit of currency. And an awakening Scarab now. This strat's crazy, dude. Some of these maps just pop the F off. What is it? What's this map got going for it? It's got low pack size. Low Scarab roll. It's not even a good map. It's like one of the worst maps, roll-wise. No currency roll. This map actually sucks. A passive shield. Another Exalted Orb. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's going on here? Excuse me, sir? 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 Think your streamer client's broken, sir? I really wouldn't bother with even 5%. Just buy them one at a time as you get a little bit of currency. Oh my god, duplicated catalyzing Scarab, yes. Yes. That quarter chance to do though. Val Temple, what? How does that even happen? That's the second one I've gotten of that. That was a loud sound effect. That's gonna be a funny highlight. Okay. I think it's like being blind man playing PoE. Well, I guess, you know, I am kind of a blind man playing PoE, huh? It's just pick up loot by the sound effect. Ooh, I heard a tink over here. Yeah. Walk over there. Oh, where is it? Am I looking only for Shaper Touch? Have more mods? Whoa. Who knew brown and blue went so well together? Not Shaper Touch, no. Just Antagonist mod. Axe Cluster. Shaper Touch doesn't do anything, although there's some conspiracy out there that maybe it does still. Used to. Increase the amount of loot from monsters that were Shaper Touched. Actually, maybe Shaper Touch does matter for the sake of the Scarab mod. Does anybody know? Does it actually matter for that? It might. Seer. That bear fell down the stairs. Did you guys see that? He died from falling down the stairs. Just hit the wall and just exploded with loot. Crazy. I didn't realize this game had that. Such realistic mechanics. This garbage. Oh my god. Voice Prism's actually worth something. Why? What? Really? There it is. It would have died, probably, standing in all this. Whoa! This is like 100% deli maxed out ore. Serum ore. I'm forever impressed by the Scarab drops from those mobs. I feel like they buffed it or changed it or something. I almost always see a Tink Scarab from those when I do that. Well, it is time. It's time to look at the results. Dumps A, B, C, and D. Almost filling up here. I actually had to trash a lot of the city square maps, which I've not technically sold yet, but I guess they're still worth, 4 or 5 C apiece. A couple of unique things that dropped that I didn't really expect to be worth much, and I'm not really factoring in this Twilight Regalia, but definitely a little bit of value here. Item level 86. And the shield, maybe not, because it's not item level 86. But anyway, as you can see, there's a lot of maps, a lot of idols, a lot of uniques, some tier 0s. We have 4 tier 0s in total. And we're going to look at all that and do a little bit of gambling in a bit. We did drop a Headhunter, so that's an extra 17 divines, which might be a little unusual, but not really, because I think I should have gotten, if anything, even more tier 0s. You saw a lot of uniques. Wasn't really what I was target farming, but it was just the byproduct of crazy juicing tier 17s. All right, let's bring your attention down to the application Wealthy Exile. Perhaps one of the most interesting things I wanted to see was the breakdown between Scarabs and clusters. And you can see almost twice, a little over twice as many Scarabs as clusters. However, the Axe Sword clusters didn't get counted, and then the Pilfering Scarabs were totally undervalued, like massively. They've gone up a lot in the past 36 hours or something. So I've done a little bit of adjusting there, but everything else looks pretty much right. We still have the shield passive holding shield clusters. Here the reservation 3 passive clusters actually going up a little bit. It was all the way down to around 1 divine. Now it's climbing a little, and I have sold a few for 1.5 div today. Catalyzing Scarabs way up top, as this is not even right. This Scarab's worth like almost 2 div a piece. So I mean, this is what I'm talking about with the app massively undervaluing things. Truly will make even more currency than what is shown here. 31 raw divines was a little higher than I expected because I'm not farming currency at all. Some of the maps have % more currency, but other than a couple wisp maps, which I don't know, was an extra 6 div or something, nothing really going on there. Ambush Scarabs coming in play. I did not run % more ambush Scarabs idle because I needed the increased delirium progress to hit the 8th reward tile, which was honestly worth it because I got a lot of great clusters in the end from that. Anyway, Headhunters down here. So I mean, you can see there are some clusters, and then a lot of Scarabs, a few things mixed in between. Devouring Fragments very high on the list. Got lucky with Devouring Fragments at 60. Oh my goodness, got 593 stacked decks to open. Woohoo! Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, yeah, a few Enlightened cards, only 2, I guess. kind of bad. It's a couple of Ralakash, Impatience, 2 Sacred Orbs. Kind of surprised to see even that. Oh, my Chrome's lagging. Okay. All the way down. There we go. Now then, let's take a look at the numbers. Investment 106.3 divines. I know that seems kind of low, but again, offset greatly by the fact that I tucked away the really well-rolled maps, the 100% or more scarabs with antagonists. Did not run any of those. The vast majority of these maps were antagonists and 50% more scarabs. Maybe with a currency roll, maybe with a pack size roll, but often not. Not really the greatest maps in the world. But we still did all right. We got a gross 627.5 div, 521 divines, net profit, 5.2 divines per map, and per hour it was 47 div per hour. So that's kind of a similar net number that I got speed farming clusters in tier 17 in Abomination with reality fragments. However, that was before the cluster market crashed, kind of. And this is after the cluster market crashed. Some people were suggesting the scarab market has also crashed. So I'm basically target farming, according to some people, two different things that have already crashed, but still came out pretty well, I'd say. I don't really think they've crashed. I think they've just tamed down, you know, euphemisms and all. So 47 div per hour that I did here. And then the gold, obviously I got way more gold because there's a juice strap. 141,000 gold per map, 1.3 mil gold per hour, which I think is, I think that's pretty close on par with what I got, you know, toward the end. Yeah, before. But this is no glittering scarab, so it's going to be more than that if I start using glittering scarabs. But I wasn't going to use it for this farm because it wasn't really target farming currency. So that is the numbers there. Now I'm going to get to opening some stack decks. And we'll try to look at the idols, hopefully. A lot of corruptions. It's going to actually be a lot of mid-tier uniques to corrupt for some juicy, you know, +1 max power charge, things like that. Let's see what happens. And so it begins. Stack deck extravagance, 593 of these. Now, the best card I have looted is the demon card. We saw it in the last 100 map set, worth 4 divines. Nothing else has even come close. I think Sephiroth would be the next best thing. Divine Beauty, okay, nice. Very strict filter right now. Okay, we're gonna double corrupt some stuff and corrupt some other things. Yes, well, definitely came out behind there. What am I looking at? Maybe the 2.5 divines worth of cards? Maybe? Not so good. Not a good start. I got some more things to do, though. Okay, got a very nice and clean dump tab for you. All the other junk is still here. As far as idols, I went ahead and you know, 3-to-1 them and checked what we had. In the end, a couple of them were 3-to-1, like these. But we have Scarab Less Likely, which isn't really that amazing, but on a magic one, it's kind of valuable. This one's pretty good, 3% effective explicit on your maps per explicit modifier. On a magic one, is worth a little more. We got Strongbox, at least rare, something like 100C. 5%, 2 rare with 5% effective explicit mods per 5% map quality. A couple divines there. So, I don't know, maybe 7-ish divines altogether. Not actually that great, I guess. Also, I have 3 perfectly rolled ephemeral edges, which will be double corrupting. We got some of these to open, but first, let's get this out of the way. I'm just going to straight corrupt all of this stuff. And there's one that's already corrupted. Wait, right? Already corrupted. Oh, okay. Actually, I probably should have put it in to get dusted, because a lot of these are worth something dusted, but anyway. I did, in fact, enchant all of the ephemeral edges, even the bad ones. There's a lot of them, so Might have a chance to get something good. It is a very popular item this time around. Now we'll check implicit. That's a lot. Well, some already have it. 12% physical damage. Nah. Nope. 2-socketed AoE on the 4th vow is something that is definitely a few divines by the looks of it. With a high chaos roll, maybe. At least a divine. Alright, that's a winner. Unholy Might. No. Nope. Aegis Aurora Socketed Curse Gems. Max Life Gull. I mean, the Gull could be big. I don't know, that's coming out actually 100C, I guess. Cannot be maimed. Unnatural Instinct. I mean, it's just automatically a winner that it's hit anything. We can do that. Physical damage again. Accuracy. No. Rarity of items found. Magnate. What? Nope. Apparently not. Area of effect. Nope. Socketed AoE, Heat Shiver. Yeah, that's actually a little bit. Duration gems? Reduce poison duration on you. Nah. Wait a minute. What is Void Battery usually? Usually spell damage? Oh well. Nothing there. Max Energy Shield here is iron. No, that's not it. Skills fire additional projectile cost breeze. Somebody said they hit this. It's usually really good, but not really that good these days. Still under a divine. Max block chance. Prism Guardian. Nope. Fortify on Ephemeral Edge is... That looks like a big hit. Yeah, this is a big hit. Fortify. Alright, we got one. Fortify on Ephemeral Edge. This is a few divines. Under 10 divines, but if I have... Oh, yeah. Okay. Here we go. All right, this is a good reason why you might want to enchant it. Because I enchanted this, it's went from like 7 divines up to 20 plus, because I have the attack speed enchant, and that's with like minimum energy shield, which unfortunately was a really bad energy shield roll, but still seems to be okay. I got locked out of checking things, so we'll pause there and. I guess we'll open some keys. See what we get here. Survey says... No. Wait, actually, isn't that the Fulcrum? Fulcrum's a little bit. This Tainted Divine make it better? What? Tainted Divine? That's for rare items. Tainted Teardrop? You mean? There's no Tainted Divine. Is that a thing? What are these? Junk. Vados boxes. Alright. Well, this is going to take a hot second. Let's see what we got. Viridi's Veil. Nope. Impossible Escape. Now that is actually pretty good. Life Sprig, yes. Giant's Bane. Bated Breath. Wait, not Replica, is it? No. Forbidden Flame. A little bit. Not doing terrible so far. Crazianus Tracks. Crab Boots. Bated breath. Night grip. Replica last resort. No. Terminus. Pillar of the Cage God. Maybe in the other game. Quillvein. No. Forbidden Flame again. Writhing Jar. Wakara. Mata's Teachings. What even is that? I don't even know what that is. White Wind. Yeah. Eternal Struggle. Well, the Eternal Struggle is getting a decent one of these maps, actually. No Mage Blood. Right now, the market is not in a good place for these boxes because they just rarely drop anything good. All right, let's see if we can continue. Oh, appears to be maybe worth a divine here. Nope. Prism Guardian +2 Socketed Mines? No. Onslaught on Kill, Ephemeral Edge. Maybe slightly more valuable. Socketed Mine, elemental damage with attacks. I think it already has that. Oh. Trapper Mines on a Ralakash, a super well rolled Ralakash. Maybe elevated a little bit. Is extra cold? Actually looks like it a little bit. Nothing else. Okay. One last thing to do. Not very good results, I'd say. But we have a chance to hit a super jackpot. So we got 3 perfectly rolled ephemeral edges. They've been enchanted and, you know, quality and all that. Mata's Teaching is a random scepter. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember now. That's not the +2 minion scepter, right? It's the other, the junky one. Or is it the +2 minion one? Okay. Well, it'd be funny if I dropped a Mage Blood right there. After all this. No. Number 1. Poof! Gone. Straight gone. I've been pretty lucky with double corruption. That's how I got my helmet. Double corrupted. I corrupted like 7 of them or something, and like successfully double corrupted 3 or 4 in 7. So I'm actually behind the scenes running pretty high on double corruptions in this event. Made it. Finally. Number 2. Destroyed. Rigged. It's 1. No. What? Oh my god. Oh, for 3. Dead. What a horrible gambling session that was. That's so much gambling. That I guess I'm gonna have to gamble idols. No, I'm not doing that. Not right now. 14 million gold to spend, I guess. Maybe I do some idol stuff. Well, I had a few things survive. I'll figure all this out later. Now it's time to give my final thoughts. So I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is not really necessarily like a super recommended farm. Like, guys, check out this brand new farm. It's so awesome, so cool, so synergetic, so non-meta or something like that. No, it was just something that I did because I found it so easy to recombinate the 3 additional reward types onto the double explicit mods on these Conquer idols. And on top of that, I was kind of curious. I was just kind of curious to see what the state of Scarab and clusters were and how they interact with each other in terms of like the value I could get. So it kind of came out like I expected. Almost half as much value in clusters as Scarabs. I figured that would probably surprise some people still. But I knew it would be like worth my time. It was still over 40 div an hour. I feel like, even with not the greatest RNG, because yeah, I mean, there was a headhunter. A headhunter is the only sort of real outlier there. In fact, I got really, really unlucky on Wildwoods. I only spawned, I think, 4 Wildwoods in 100 maps, and only one of them was like a real juicer. But you know what's interesting? I discovered through this 100 map set, as well as prior to just practicing it, I was running some Wisp Scarabs before, and I absolutely confirmed that these deli mirrors that I was doing, they are like way harder than like 60 or 80% deli, all things considered. These are like basically full-blown 100% deli maps, except at the very front end of the entrance. And this character could handle it, at least with the Antagonist mod ramping up headhunter buffs. Just ramping them up wasn't even that hard. Even if I spawned into the 100% deli area with no headhunter buffs, I was still able to ramp up. And the survivability was honestly pretty good, I felt. Definitely, I recognize many places where I've been, you know, time and time again, ripped on a bow build. Just get utterly ripped. That Veracerium ore all the way spawning, that's a big one, which I think you saw in one of the highlights. A few other situations, like just having like 20 AoE explosion effects go off at once, not even seeing my health bar move. Not sure why, but in some ways this character definitely is a lot tankier. I don't even have spell block either, so that was pleasant to see. I seem to have the damage for the boss. 100% deli bosses, the triple wisped 100% deli boss. I did kill a couple of those, so I know that's a nice checkpoint in terms of like DPS check. So yeah, I'm looking forward to. I kind of want to do some strongbox stuff, but I'm a little gate kept out of the right idols. And it's just going to be easier to merge this into like magic pack size farming idols. That's kind of next on my agenda. I think I'm going to do some wisped magic pack size. Maybe I'm going to combine Antagonist and magic at the same time. And so that could be quite a lot. I think the idol system is going to be favorable for doing that because of these crazy 3x1s that we can get for scarab farming, and then combining that with a whole bunch of like eater pack size and stuff in the Conqueror one. We could get some really, really juicy high value maps, a lot of currency, a lot of Hinekora mirror drop potential, Wildwood or not, a lot of really high scarab drop potential. I'm looking forward to seeing what some extreme pack size, what is this, like 200% increase effective explicit? Imagine rolling pack size on some of these maps. We could see 300, 400% increased pack size in some cases in certain mobs. So that could be pretty insane. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do with that. So that's kind of next on my agenda. I'm going to have to make some new idols. But I at least have a little bit of currency to expend. Other than that, I want to buy an Awakened Multi-Strike support. I think that's it. Did I drop any Sacred Orbs? I dropped 2. I dropped 32 Divines and 2 Sacred Orbs, so I don't know if that's a good ratio or not, but I wasn't, there was no Wisp Scarabs here, so very little in the way of wisping. But yeah, that's the answer to the chat question, and that's going to be it for the video. You can come by Twitch to see what I'm doing. We'll be live streaming most days, and we'll be starting another 100 map session, I guess, pretty soon. I do need to come out with a build update video. We've got some changes to the build where I've started going like way down below. You can look at the PoE in the description below to see what I'm doing. I really like this setup in the end. Still tinkering around with things like this instead of this. So still messing around with it. Still need to level, one more level. I got 6 bars of experience. I definitely would have leveled from 99 to 100 here if I had never died. But that's a tall order on these maps, but I'm not exactly sure how I want to go about finishing this out. If I'm careful or cautious, I can level doing this, but it's still, you know, still hard not to die at all. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I will look forward to seeing your comments in this one. Kind of quirky off-the-cuff farm. Really looking forward to some more juicing. This was kind of the last pit stop before going all the way, like giga juicing, like maximum farming potential stuff. We're still not quite there, but next time I think we'll be there. Look forward to that. See you guys in the next video.